Hare Krishna. Was wonderful weather yesterday for Rath Yatra, and today is much better. Only one. Only one. One is enough. I'll keep it here. Thank you. Today is boat festival. Haribol. Noka Bihar. I think this is the only country that really boat festival is actually underwater. Even though Vrindavan we have very popular Nokabihar. However, yours is something else. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunya Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana
Recording in progress.
Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribharadha. Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribharadha. Jai Go Sitanath Kamanande. Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishna Shri Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Iti Namine Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Sunyabhati Paschatya Deshatarine Om Jnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah Sri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadavaya Dati Swapadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Juta Parakamalam Shri Guru Vaisnavanscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sagana Raghunatam Tikam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sarvadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Sri Radha Krishna Pada Sagana Lalita Sri Visakantitam Sha Hey Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dinabandhu Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Visabhano Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vanchakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhuvya eva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Sri Advaita Gadadhar Shivashari Gaura Bhaktavinda Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. Reading from the Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4. This is in the matter of the creation of the fourth order. Chapter 28. Puranjana becomes a woman in the next life. Text number 3. Kala kanya pi bubuje Puranjana purambala Yaya vidyuta purusha Sajjo nishadatam iya. Somebody else.
Kala kanya vibhuje
Puranjana purambala Yaya vibhuta purusha
Kalakanya pe bhuje Puranjana Purambala Yasya Vivihuta Purushaha Sadhyo Nisharasaya
Mataji. Vibhuta Purusa Satyo Nisaratam Iya Kala Kanya Vibhute Puranjana Purambala Vibhuta Purusa Satyo Nisaratam Iya. Word for word meaning? Kala Kanya, the daughter of Kala. Api also. Uhuje took possession of Puranjanapuram, the city of Puranjana. Bala by force. Yaya by whom? Abhibhuta, being overwhelmed. Purusha, a person. Sadhya, immediately. Nisaratam, uselessness. Ya, gets. Translation and purport by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada Ki Jai. Gradually, Kalakanya, with the help of dangerous soldiers, attacked all the inhabitants of Puranjana's city, and thus rendered them useless for all purposes. Everybody, please repeat. Gradually, Kalakanya, with the help of dangerous soldiers, attacked all the inhabitants of Puranjana's city, and thus rendered them useless for all purposes. Purport. At the fag end of life, when the invalidity of old age attacks a man, his body becomes useless for all purposes. Therefore, Vedic training dictates that when a man is in his boyhood, he should be trained in the process of brahmacharya. That is, he should be completely engaged in the service of the Lord and should not in any way associate with women. When the boy becomes a young man, he marries between the ages of 20 and 25. When he is married at the right age, he can immediately beget strong, healthy sons. Now, female descendants are increasing because young men are very weak sexually. A male child will be born if the husband is sexually stronger than his wife. But if the female is stronger, a female child will be born. Thus, it is essential to practice the system of brahmacharya if one wishes to beget a male child when one is married. When one reaches the age of 50, he should give up family life. At that time, one's child should be grown up so that the father can leave the family responsibilities to him. The husband and wife may then go abroad to live a retired life and travel to different places of pilgrimage. When both the husband and wife lose their attachment for family and home, the wife returns home to live under the care of her grown up children and to remain aloof from family affairs. The husband then takes sannyas to render some service to the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is the perfect system of civilization. The human form of life is especially meant for God realization. If one is unable to take to the process of Krishna consciousness from the very beginning of life, he must be trained to accept these principles at the fact end of life. Unfortunately, there is no training even in childhood, nor can one give up his family life even at the end. This is the situation with the city of Puranjana, figuratively described in these verses. Kalakanyapi bubuji Puranjana Purangalad Yaya Vibhuta Purusha Sadhyo Nipsaratam Iya. Very nicely explained here in this verse and in the purport by Srila Prabhupada about time and old age. Time also represents Lord Krishna. It says in the Bhagavad Gita that time I am the destroyer of everything. So, time is eternal, just like Prakriti, material energy, Ishvara, the Supreme Lord, and the Jivas, the living entities. Only karma is temporary, or you may say, not eternal. It can end. So we notice and observe, especially coming here to Mauritius, so many retired people from different parts of the world. They will come and they will spend some time of their life, or maybe the rest of their life here, because Mauritius is a very beautiful country. You have lots of places where you can enjoy, quote unquote. Um, they don't have proper knowledge of what is the purpose of the human form of life. They will work hard for the whole life of their life, and their hard-earned money will be spent for the rest of their life, just to enjoy, so-called enjoy. But that is not the message of the Srimad Bhagavatam. The message of Srimad Bhagavatam is that we have to prepare at the time of death. Was that Ante Kala? Was that Ante Narayana Smriti? What's that mean? Ante Narayana Smriti. That means at the end of life, we should remember Narayana, or Lord Krishna, or Lord Vishnu. But how to do that if one says, I'm still young, I still have so much time in my life? But our Guru Maharaj, he says that, for the last 30 or 40 years of our life, that is like old age. If we live for 100 years, which according to the scriptures, like Lord Brahma also has 100 years, but his 100 years is relative to the 100 years of a bacteria. The bacteria also lives for 100 years, but his 100 years is like only for a few hours. And Lord Brahma's 100 years is 311 trillion years of our time. Quite a lot, isn't it? Now, we'll be very fortunate if we live for 100 years. The way the lifestyle of most of the people are living, they will not live for even 80 years. I know my mother, she lived for 86 years. They're in a different era. But for us, if you live for, let's say, 70, well, maybe hopefully 80 years, I will be very fortunate. And according to 12th canto of the Srimad Bhagavatam, the symptoms of Kali Yuga, one of them is that people, they consider to be old if they reach the age of 35. So that means what? The way the kids are living nowadays, they will sleep 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock, yeah? But they'll be involved in many, many activities, will not help them to live longer. They eat junk foods. Mm. They do things which shorten their life. But according to here, one must be preparing oneself even from the early age. And the Vedic culture, whether one is born in a royal family or in a Sudra family, one can send the child to the Gurukul. Gurukul means this is the school of the spiritual master. Age of 5. Hmm. Early, isn't it? But this is also what Prahlad Maharaj says to his demon friends. Friends of the sons of the demons. He says, Komara Acharit Pragyo. Now is the time while we're still young to develop a spiritual life. Sometimes during our travels, um, we will give class, and then the children will be playing, running back and forth. They're already past 5 years old. Because the parents' reason is, oh, they're not ready yet. They're not, when their time comes, no, but someplace also, I've been in America, all the children right there in the front. And they're all listening attentively because they were trained up by their parents. But Sutta Goswami was telling me his son, he never sits in a class. But when we give class, he's right there, never move. So it depends on how we're going to train their children, our children, so that they will grow up, mold their life, that they'll become Krishna conscious. And at the end of one's life, they will remember Krishna. How can you control your children once they're grown up? At least give them Krishna consciousness as much as possible. This is very important. And Prabhupada specifically mentions here in the purport about if the man is not sexually strong, what will happen? Huh? Did you hear the purport?
Yes.
What did it say? You'll have a woman. You know, some countries, there are more women than men. Huh? Where is that?
Australia.
Australia? Everywhere! There are more women than men. Why? Because the men are very, very, I'm not saying that they're very weak, but they're more absorbed. Women can be more absorbed also materially. But that means the men, they have to control their senses. And same with the women. I know I have a relative, all the children, 8 of them are daughters, are girls. So that means it is not the fault of the woman, but it is the man. You need to have strong men, strong family life. So that's why when one goes to the Gurukul, under the tutelage of the spiritual master, then he'll be trained up morally and values. The values and morally and ethically and everything for the boy to grow up to be strong Krishna conscious wise. This is in the Vedic times. And still we have Gurukuls, like in India, we have Mayapur. In Vrindavan also we have Gurukul. So at the age of 25, Prabhupada mentions in the purport, between the age of what? 20 and 25, then the boy can go back to mama and papa or can remain with the spiritual master and prepare to be in the renounced order of life. Or one can go back home to their parents and be grihasta. So now, to be a good grihasta, one should have a very good foundation, strong foundation as a brahmachari. How about the others who did not go and be trained up as brahmacharis? You can still be good grihasta. No doubt about that. Everyone is entitled